Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Gaming, and today we're gonna talk a little bit about Magic, the new mechanics in Zendikar Rising, the new set that's coming out. For our board game highlight, we're gonna talk about Coffee Roaster, the one player or solo game that I really love. And for video games, we're gonna talk about Dragon Quest 11. Alright, so first up is Magic the Gathering's new set, Zendikar Rising. And there's three mechanics in the set. The first one is called Landfall. That says whenever you put a land onto the battlefield, trigger happens. So like Constellation, but for lands. And I love this mechanic. It's really cool. The big draw is that you're late in the game, you have a couple landfall creatures, and you're top deck mode, and you're like, oh, I need a sweet card, and then you draw a land. In a typical set, you'd be like, dude, this is horrible. Like, I'm just gonna hold it and hope they think it's a spell and thought sees me or something. That's like your best way out. But now you're thinking, ooh, I could play this land, trigger this, get this bonus, trigger this. Maybe it changes your combat. And I think that's really exciting. It's classic. It's always gonna be in Zendikar sets. I didn't play the first Zendikar. I heard it was amazing. And then I did play the Return to Zendikar, and I thought it was pretty cool. Again, the Eldrazi's thing, but I'm really excited now that we're going back and they promised it was a non-Eldrazi set, so that's gonna be great. The second mechanic is called Kicker. Kicker is a mechanic that basically says when you cast a spell, kick it or pay the extra mana cost and get this sweet bonus or upgrade. But generally they're slightly overcosted by, like, let's say a mana. So if you play it, okay, decent value. But again, if you draw it late in the game, you have more mana, you can kick it and get a really cool bonus effect. So it meshes really well with the first mechanic. You can see that the games are going to stay excited. They're not going to draw out into like, I drew a land, my opponent drew a land. I drew a land, my opponent drew a land, and then nothing's happening. It's like we're triggering landfall. We can kick this card with our extra mana. So all that's a pretty good meld. The third mechanic is called Party. This is the one I'm most excited for. It's flavored as a D&D themed mechanic. Your party can consist of a wizard, a rogue, a warrior, and a cleric. So these are roles in D&D. The warrior is a fighter, but flavor-wise it's on. It basically says, look at how many party members you have and get usually like a discounted mana cost for the spell, or you get this bonus. In Constructed, I don't really think it's going to see that much play. It's very hard to keep a bunch of creatures on the board with all the board wipes running rampant. It's probably going to be more on the casual side, which I love because I love pushing build around mechanics. Those are my personal favorite. So I'm super excited for Party. It's going to be an amazing limited mechanic. Limited is super slow. I didn't look at spoilers. I don't know if there's a board wipe in the set, but it's just harder to remove creatures. You're usually doing one for one removal. The game's just, if you play limited, they're like a slower pace. Feels more like a battle, boom, boom, boom. Then sometimes Constructed feels like you're bah, bah, bah. This is more like you're in the trenches, you're struggling to piece it together, and that's when you're gonna have time to assemble your party, and it's gonna feel like you did it, and then you're gonna cast this awesome spell. And I'm really looking forward to trying to make Party work. So super hyped for all three mechanics. And the way I'm playing this set is I haven't really looked at spoilers. I'm just gonna get a box and I'm gonna play sealed decks with my wife. We can get 3 seals out of it, and we're just gonna, crack some packs. Sometimes I like to do that. All right, moving on. For our board game today, we got Coffee Roaster. Coffee Roaster is a solo game, one player, and what you're doing, it's a back building game. It's got this amazing premise that you're an apprentice barista, or you're like trying to make your name in the coffee industry. What you'll be doing is trying to make the perfect brew. You're gonna get these cards and they're gonna say, hey, we want this number of roast, this amount of flavor. Type of coffee has its own starting bag, so it's a bag building game. You're gonna fill up and put the beans into your bag. Round after round, you're going to reach in there, grab the chips, take them out, and then start roasting the beans. And you're slowly going to increase the numerical value of the beans, and you're trying to get just the right amount of roast in there, as well as different flavors. And you can use different power-ups to do different things to manipulate the beans and the bag. And at the end of the rounds, you're then going to score your bag by pouring your cup, and you're trying to pour the perfect cup. So you start filling up the coffee cup, and you start pulling out, and that's when you're like, ooh, a 3, great. Ooh, a 0, no. And you might start pulling out smoke. You might start getting the wrong flavor in there. And you, depending on what you did and what you unlocked during the game, you have different power-ups and options in the scoring phase of the game. When it comes to a fruition and you got your coffee made, then you count up your points and see how well you did. If you over roasted it, if you hit it just right, or if you under roasted it, if you got the flavors. And it's really fun. The full game, you are supposed to do that 3 times. I usually just pick one coffee, and then I usually score it and put it away. It takes me about 15 minutes, and it's just a really calming game. Usually have it with some fresh coffee. I play it like each coffee is its own little mission, and I'm trying to hit the perfect roast number to beat the level. And then, I get whatever points I get, and I usually like check it, and then I'm moving on to harder roast. So I just want to get the perfect roast on each coffee. And every now and then I'll play the full game. You're trying to beat your own score, and there's different titles that you're trying to earn. So I would highly, highly recommend Coffee Roaster. So a little story about Coffee Roaster. When I found this game, there was like 2 reviews, a guy named Slicker Drips and Z Garcia. The game looked just amazing to me. Like, I knew I was gonna love this game. So I had to order it from Asia. I ordered it, I don't know if it got lost in the mail or what. To my surprise, I thought, I wasn't gonna, a month or 2 later, I thought it got lost or something. But no, I actually ended up getting it. I was so excited, I even made up a little song. I got coffee roaster, yeah, yeah. I got coffee roaster, yeah, yeah. Like, that's how excited I was. So if you're interested, check it out. So I got the original version, but it got reprinted in the States, so it's easy to get now. Alright, next up we got Dragon Quest XI. So this is a game I got on my Switch. Dragon Quest, if you don't know, is a huge JRPG franchise, Japanese role-playing game franchise. A role-playing game is a game kind of like Pokemon, where you might have a character or a party and you'll hit like defend, attack, spell, and you'll target the opponents and you'll program your moves, and then it'll execute in battle, and you're taking turns fighting. Or you'll have 4 people in your party, and you're choosing what kind of moves and combos they're gonna do to defeat the bad guys. You get some loot and experience, and you go through a story. So when they made it on Switch, I thought, okay, quarantine, I got a little extra time. Let me get into a little bit more of a bigger game. The cool thing about this game is it's got a free demo. So you can download it, check it out, see if you like it. That's what I did. And from the first cutscene, I just knew this was a game for me. It's by the same animators who animated Dragon Ball Z. So the hero literally looks like future Trunks. It's got an amazing cast, amazing storyline, and this game is long. I had no clue. I thought I was gonna finish the game twice by now. And every time they're like, nope, we got more. So it feels like I got 2 games out of it. I got over 100 hours on it. It still got me captivated. So that's Dragon Quest XI. Highly recommend it. Honey, yeah? Breakfast is ready. Oh, I'll be down in a minute. Thank you. I gotta wrap this video up. I feel like it's an easy entry. It's not a convoluted, complex system where you're gonna feel lost. It's gentle, it builds up. The thing I love the most is you can put it on hard from the beginning, and that's what I did. I love a game that's challenging, but you can play it on regular mode. Thanks for hanging with me, and hope everyone has a great day.